Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon for an informative and exciting webinar to learn about Regent 7 Seas Cruises 2026-2027 season launch. My name is Johanna de Guzman. I am the Manager of Industry Relations for North American Travel Trade Membership here at CLIA, and I'm going to quickly go through some housekeeping before introducing our presenter. The webinar will run for about 40 to 45 minutes with time for questions at the end. Please feel free to type your questions into the questions module of the webinar, and we will get to them at the conclusion of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and will be posted on CLIA's YouTube channel, CLIA Global. It is my pleasure to introduce our presenter, Randall James. Randall started his 14-year cruise career in Omaha, Nebraska in the call center. He transferred with the company to Florida to take a supervisor position and worked his way up to being an account executive in the sales department. Recently, he was promoted to trade sales specialist, working as a liaison between the sales department and other entities for continued success. He has supported and worked with travel agents coast to coast and presented to individual agencies all the way to travel shows with hundreds of people. Randall has worked closely with each of the sales pillars within the organization and has taken on additional tasks in development of new enhancements in technology for the entire sales team and our travel agent partners. He has sailed on Regent 7 Seas Cruises himself, just completing his 13th cruise, and looks forward to continuing his travels on board the world's most luxurious fleet. And with that, take it away, Randall.
All right, I really appreciate that, and wow, that introduction's amazing. Thank you guys so much for just allowing me to come today. I wanted to show the picture of myself to prove to you that I am actually a real human and that this isn't recorded, but so I'm going to take that off of the screen. We'll kind of get started. And I do know that there is a questions tab on the side there that you are able to ask questions. So please feel free to ask questions throughout, and we will go from there. So Regent 7 Seas Cruises, unrivaled experience. As you can see, that's a picture of myself as well, with my email address. If you have any questions afterwards, I know that sometimes things come up after the presentation that you think, oh man, I wish I would have asked. Please feel free. So we'll get started here. So our award-winning fleet. So with Regent right now, we do have 6 ships. Our newest Explorer level ships are the Grandeur, which arrived actually in December of 2023. The Splendor, which arrived right before the thing that we don't talk about in the travel industry, and then the Explorer. So these 3 ships are 750 guests, all balcony, all suite. They have 4 restaurants on board. Like I say, it is all balcony, all suite, so everything will have a balcony, everything will have a separation. And then we also have our 7 Seas Voyager, 7 Seas Mariner, which are both 700 guests. Also all balcony, all suite. And then our Navigator, which is 490 guests and 28,000 tons. The thing about the Navigator is it actually just won the Cruise Ship of the Year award through a couple different magazines. So we are definitely moving along with it. It is the one ship that we actually do have picture windows on, but it has definitely, it's group of folks who love to sail on the Navigator, and they're a very tight-knit community. So what does set us apart? So we do have our 5 pillars that are truly the core of Regent: immersive exploration, our service, our culinary program, unrivaled space, and also our personalized service really does. Every luxury is included, so you definitely have everything that you could ever want on board. We're going to go over these individually. Unrivaled space at sea. Really, space is so important, and really now more than ever. I think when coming out of the pandemic, a lot of folks have talked about how crowds are a little bit different. People look at crowds a little bit differently. So our personal space, extravagant comfort. You're on board. You don't feel like you're crowded at all. You feel like it's really almost a personal yacht. for you. So this is a picture that we love to use. Our ship is the one with the arrow there that looks like the little kid amongst the big ships. And that truly is a different experience. It is a smaller ship, but it's because we do not have as many folks on board. So we can actually accommodate everything that you would need with the space ratio and not be on one of the largest ships here. Also, within a port, when we embark and disembark in a port, we only have up to 750 guests versus 3,000 guests. And that does truly make a difference when you're trying to embark and disembark, especially on those rainy days, warm days, just days that just are not great weather out. We are very quick with our process. So here is our ship sizes. As you can see, we used a premium cruise line that has 126,000 tons versus our 55,000 ton Splendor. 750 guests versus the 3,046 guests, which gives a space to guest ratio of 73.9 gross tons to 1 versus 41. And then we have that little illustration on the bottom that really just shows, the folks being able to spread out. Our spacious suites. Everybody's going to have a room. It's one of the most important things, obviously, on board. So this is our deluxe veranda suite, which is on the Splendor. This is the 301 square feet. It's 252 square foot inside, 49 square foot balcony. As you can see, plenty of room. This is actually our concierge level. As you can see, the bed does point towards the window as we're looking as though you'd be looking from the balcony at this point. It is something that we did on our Explorer class ships, the last 3, and we have got just great feedback. Folks love to leave the curtains open a little bit, wake up. You can see, in the morning, the ocean as you're waking up for your coffee. This is one of our penthouse suites. As you can see, it does have a separation. There is a TV on both sides. They're independent of each other, of course. So you do have your sitting area, and you are able to close the doors to close that off. That sofa does also fold out into a bed if needed for a third passenger. And then our Regent suite. So hopefully most of you have heard of the Regent suite. It is something we started with our Explorer. The suite is 4,443 square feet, which is bigger than a lot of folks' houses. But what we were truly trying to do is bring luxury to the seas. We do have guests who, have become accustomed to a certain lifestyle. So taking a Manhattan apartment, luxury apartment, and putting it at sea, each one of these are set up a little bit different. So the Explorer and the Splendor they're actually flipped. So the room is separated to different, the bed's on the other side. And then on our Grandeur, we actually changed our sitting area from another large table to a circular table and a sitting area that you actually can sit outside. With the balcony, there is a private jacuzzi on the balcony. You have spa chairs that are actually in the cabin. You are able to host folks for dinner. This is just really luxurious. And there is a second bedroom. So the first bedroom is a California king, and then the second bedroom is the size of one of our penthouses. So really, we always try to talk about how to sell our product and how you can be an ambassador for your clients. On our website, we do have a 360 view of each suite. it's very important, I think, that they see what they're, they could really put themselves in the suite when you give them that 360 view. Review all the amenities that are included. We are the most all-inclusive cruise line in the world. So when you start going through the amenities and crossing off those questions of, is this included, is this included? And you're gonna find yourself saying that, yes, 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 these are all included things. And then explain the priority for excursions and dining. So that it is very important that they have an idea on that. Now, we do include our shore excursions as well as there's not an upcharge for dining, but you do have to reserve each one of those prior to the cruise. So it's important once they do book to start having those conversations about, what they would be looking for in excursions. You can do those up to 240 days out. So immersive exploration is our next thing. So we go to over 450 worldwide destinations with our free unlimited shore excursion. And then we also do Regent Choice shore excursions. Those will have a little bit extra cost. That's going to be if you think of a helicopter tour in Alaska. So a helicopter tour in Alaska in general, you'd be paying $800–900 in some cases. On ours, it is $250 to actually do that excursion. So it is severely reduced. Also, Regent Choice small group tours. We started this with, we got a lot of feedback from our guests that said that tour for 40 people is great, but we're bringing our family, and is there a way that we can start doing that just on our own? So we take 10 folks on those small group tours. We can match almost every excursion. There are some that we are not able to match at that smaller group tour, or you can come up with your own group tour as well. Now, with the small group tour, there would, like I say, there is somewhat of a wait sometimes, and we do have to go through and make sure we can confirm everything. Go local tours. We started, the best one is actually in France. We go to a family's home to come in, and the grandmother actually will cook a traditional French cuisine for lunch. You have wine because it's actually at a winery, and they talk about the local culture and what they do. Really, if you think about it, a lot of the well-traveled guests, this is something that it's a bragging point. Let's just be honest, that you got the real thing. Anytime that I travel and I'm traveling with someone from the area, that experience is just so much better. Gourmet Explorer Tours, that's going to go with our chefs. They're going to come out into the markets. They're going to actually choose the foods. They come back, they cook them for you. And then wellness tours, we're doing a lot more with our hikes and active celebrations. We do pre and post land programs. Many are free. They're included with our longer itineraries. 350 plus UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So as you can see, very immersive. You're gonna explore these destinations inside and out. So with the excursions, a lot of folks will say, you guys include shore excursions, but really, how many is it? In Alaska, there's 225 free excursions and 13 ports of call. You go down to like Bermuda, where it's 35. There's 35 different options on a Bermuda sailing. Your Northern Europe, 1,100. So as you can see, it's not one excursion per port. With 52 ports of call in the Caribbean, we have 625 different excursions that are included. And these are the ones that are included. These are not the ones with the additional costs. The thing that drives our success, personalized service. So our ratio for staff to guests is 1.1 to 1.5. So it's almost a 1-to-1. When you get to, where there are more guests, you're looking at 1 to 2.4. That directly translates to service. So we did talk a little bit about how everything is included. So I wanted to show you guys this slide. Flights, transfers, specialty dining, premium drinks. We do get that question a lot of the inclusive drinks. Drinks are included in all lounges, all meals, within your room, anywhere on board the ship. The drinks are included, and we do not just have the well and then upcharge you or anything like that. There are very few things that you would pay for. These are going to be very specialized drinks, your Johnny Walker Blues, things like that. Unlimited shore excursions. So if you are able to take a shore excursion in the morning and then also one in the afternoon, as long as there's 90 or 75 minutes between the two, you are able to do that. We don't limit you to only one a day. Internet is included. It's up to 2 devices until you get up to the penthouse categories. Then we go up to 4 devices that can be on at the same time. Pre-cruise hotel, that is going to be included with the airfare. Tips and gratuities, we get this question a lot. You know, you say it's included, but am I going to feel as though I need to tip? Our staff do a great job of actually turning down gratuities if your folks do want to do that. We definitely, our staff is paid based without the gratuities. They are not looking for them. They are not expecting them. They do not count on gratuities to make their living. And then the valet laundry, and this is our newest inclusion. You can send out your laundry up until the 2 days prior to the end of the cruise. You send it out in the bag, it comes back. And I always tell the story about my wife. The first time that we did laundry on board, it came back and it looks like a Christmas present all wrapped up on the bed. And she thought that someone had given us a gift. And she was very excited about what this gift was going to be. The mind was racing, different purses, watches, things like that. And it was our t-shirts and our pants and our slacks and blouses. So I will tell you, it's such a great program. One of the worst things, of course, everybody who's traveled, is you go home and now you have to do all the laundry. If what we did was we actually sent it out the third night before, we took that and directly packed it into our suitcases to take home clean clothes. So this actually has a little more, it talks a little bit more about the air, the unlimited shore excursions, beverages, prepaid gratuities, especially restaurants, your transfers, limited Wi-Fi, and then valet laundry. So really, as you think about it, there's really not much that's not included. With our pricing, we do have our we have our comparison guides that we put out, and these are going to be in the different brochures. You can also find them throughout our website, rssc.com. So as you can see, when we start with our cruise fare versus a premium cruise line, it doesn't look as appealing until you start realizing that you're going to pay for more than just that initial price when you're with other cruise lines. And so once I call it like a cash register, where you continually are just adding to that price to get to the end. And you'll see, even on this one, because we are honest about these prices, we are still about $700 more. But we are showing that really your premium guests who are in a comparable room are paying the prices already that are going to be for luxury. And we already did talk about the space and the service and the inclusions, and just not even having to think about anything and what you're spending. Someone told me a long time ago, it's not the cost to get on the ship, it's the cost to get off the ship. And I use that all the time because the cost to get off our ships is nothing. We don't have the bill underneath the door. So starting July 1st, there will be a change. With Regent, we are going in a direction of more flexibility, and our tagline, of course, flexibility is the ultimate luxury. So there will be 2 all-inclusive fare options for flexibility and to customize your travel journey. And we will go through this fairly slowly. Like I say, this will start as of July 1st. Right now, everything is exactly as it was. So the 2 new fares, we have our all-inclusive cruise fare. That will include your shore excursions, your dining, your wines, your in-suite dining, one-night pre-cruise hotels, your butler service, Wi-Fi, laundry, gratuities, access to spa facilities. The thing that it will not include is going to be our round trip flights, our transfers, and then with the ultimate all-inclusive fare is everything on the left. And we do include our round trip flight as well as the transfers. And then we are doing a $500 per suite private executive chauffeur credit with Black Lane. And that Black Lane transfer can be used 10 days before the sailing till 10 days after the sailing. So you can use it from your home. You can use it, to go from the airport to the ship. You may use it actually in a port if you wanted to do a private excursion. Like I said, 10 days before to 10 days after. So we really talk about the 3 different things here. There's the things that are included for comfort, your enjoyment, and then your convenience. And this slide right here, it's you're going to find this all over our website. What we started finding was when there's just a list of things that are included, it kind of gets monotonous. So really breaking it down and letting folks know the reasons why and what you're going to get out of each one of these. And we also started showing that we include things that others are including that we're not thinking of, which is like the walk-in closets. That's a huge deal to have a walk-in closet for your comfort. We also have the marble and stone detailed bathrooms that we don't find ourselves talking about a lot of times. The butler service in the penthouse suite. When you get over to your enjoyment, we have our shore excursions, our drinks, our dining, the mini bar replenished daily with your preferences, unlimited access to the spa facility. The spa is an additional cost, so I just want to, caution you there. I don't want you to think that that is completely included, but you will find that the prices are very comparable to a spa. And then you get to your convenience. You got your Wi-Fi, your gratuities, your valet laundry, in-suite dining. That in-suite dining, you can order off of the main dining room Compass Rose. You can order directly off of that menu. So you do not. It's not just going to be a cheeseburger or something like that. You can definitely order the same thing that you could eat to a restaurant. One night pre-cruise hotel, and then our concierge staff. I mean, really, anything off menu, any personal requests. We have folks that that's what they do. They want to find a way to make it as enjoyable and convenient for you as possible. Round trip flights with flexibility, and you can choose your desired air class. So we have included business class air over the water for many years. We have had folks that said, I'm okay flying in economy for a little bit less. So you'll be able to choose that. The included transfers. So we do include your transfers when you do our airfare between the airport and the ship, and then the ship to the airport. And you still get the extra $500 per suite. So with the air flexibility, we moved it as part of our base bundled fare. We took it out of that, so that there's the fare types. Like I said, you can do business class, economy class. In domestic markets, you'll have the ability to choose preferred class at the time of the booking. If there is anyone that is actually not domestic here, U.S. Canada, there will be economy air, and guests can request the upgrades. That you can still choose to buy air for Regent for a set price when you're booking. We'll be able to tell you exactly what that pricing would be. And you'll be offered our contracted air rates. Custom air fees still do apply if you are choosing the exact routing, exact carrier that you want. Otherwise, if you're just saying I want business class to go to Barcelona, we will do our best to have the least number of connections, and we do work on within our air contracted rates. The private chauffeur service. So it's coach transfers between the airport and ship. Like I said, will continue. The Black Lane partnership. So it's $500 per suite. It typically will cover 2 journeys of 100 miles or less in an SUV with 5 pieces of luggage. What we found was, I know that we do have Silver Seas that also offer, but with the luggage and the number of pieces, our credit is a little bit more for that reason. Because when you go on a cruise, a lot of times I think the cars can only hold up to 2 pieces of luggage versus what most people will travel with around 5 pieces. You can use it for additional transfers, like I talked about. You can upgrade that complimentary airport to ship. You can use it to get from your home, and then also, you can use it within the ports. So like I said previously, 10 days prior to 10 days post cruise. Black Lane and how this is going to work. I'm actually going to go to the slide here. Sorry, I went right there. So about 60 days prior to your sailing, you're going to receive an email from Regent with the instructions on how to book any transfers with Black Lane. You're going to work directly with them, and they will send to you. They will let you know the driver's name. They'll let you know the license plate, the car. They're going to reach out and give you their personal information that you can reach out to them. There's a user-friendly app. We have all started to use it on our personal travels as well to make sure that this was going to work. And I will tell you, it is very easy to work with the company. We have had great experiences at this point. You can make changes, you can reschedule as needed. This is really just the flexibility to choose when you want to use the service of the Black Lane. So land programs on our exotic sailings are no longer going to be included. That is something that we have done for a while, and we have received confirmation back from a lot of folks to say that they're not taking advantage of them, and they're not looking. That's not something that they would be interested in. They'd rather do something different with their time. We'll continue to offer it. There will be an extra cost, and then we'll have promotions every once in a while that will include the programs. So like I said, you'll get your voucher code around 60 days prior to the cruise. You can easily use this voucher on their website. It's easy to modify. Like I said, they really have it down. We'll also use Black Lane for our past passenger members who are titanium and above that do receive the private transfers. We will be using Black Lane, and it's new bookings beginning July 1st. The titanium get 2 included transfers. Regent Suite is unlimited transfers. And then there will be a region specific inbox for questions and troubleshooting that Black Lane will monitor. And let me get myself here. So the Regent Suite. So the inclusions, there has been a little bit of inclusion changes with our Regent Suite. It was unlimited in-suite spa appointments. We're changing that to 2 complimentary per day. And they're no longer going to be done in the suite. They're going to be done in the spa. They already were having to be done in the spa a lot of times because the equipment and things needed to do that. It just really simplifies this. It also frees up more resources, so they can do more spa appointments. because previously they would need to be at the Regent Suite, before to set up. They would need to tear down after doing the appointment, where now they are able to do they'll be able to do more appointments. They do have the priority to book the spa appointments at 75 days prior to the cruise. It's 60 days for the rest. And this is that suite that's 4,443 square feet. We also have a study that they were able to use previously for all dinners and just private. They're no longer just exclusively going to be able to use it. They will still be able to access it. They'll just have to work with their butler, which, as long as it's available, the butler will make sure that they, have that. Immersive overnight. So we did start this program this year, and the thought behind it is a lot of times you go to these beautiful ports when you're embarking or disembarking, or you're just there for the one day and there's just so much to see. So the Venice to Athens, which is October 5th of this year, there's one night in Venice. So you actually do spend the night in Venice. You have one night in Croatia, one night in Montenegro, and then 2 nights in Athens. Like I said, we really got a lot of feedback of folks saying, well, only being there for 10 hours, 8 hours for the day, there's just so much that I would want to do, as well as, a lot of these cities have things at night, and the nightlife and, just the culture that extends to the night. You may want to see, we're in Istanbul, Dubrovnik, this is another one. This is on October 27th on our Voyager. And so what this does is it just makes it so you overnight in some of these ports versus, the one port per day. In Rome, you overnight in Rome, which means that you'll have the day in Rome and you'll have the next day in Rome as well before we leave that night. Barcelona the same way. We have it on the November 15th Navigator, and this is a Rome to Barcelona, where you'll come through Rome, Tuscany, Toulon, and then Barcelona. And then we do have our round trip Tokyo 14 night, March the 5th of 2025. So as you can see, you're going to have overnight stays in Kyoto, Seoul, Shanghai, and then also Tokyo. April 20th of 2025, Monte Carlo to Athens. And then we have a Copenhagen to Stockholm. So being able to go into Berlin, going into Helsinki, you have one night on and then 2 nights at the end in Stockholm. So some promotional tools that you can use to sell Regent. So your first Regent booking that you make ever, you are able to, you sign up for a $500 gift card. This is not based on selling a certain booking. It's just the first one that you book. If you go to our website, www.rssc.com, and you'll go to the Travel Agent Center, and it'll have all the instructions to sign up for that. We also are running through the end of this month our exotics. They're up to $4,500 savings on that. They're greatly reduced. If they're looking to go to an exotic vacation, this is the year. Your Bali Sendis, your Cape Towns of Dubai's, it's pretty vast. Like I say, this goes through June 30th of 2024. Solos. So we did get a lot of feedback, and I think in the industry we're seeing more and more that folks are traveling as solos. And so we have 0% single supplements right now. I believe it's 20, yeah, 20 select sailings where there's a 0% single supplement until you get to the categories which are a little bit higher up until our penthouse suites. And that can be found on that same site, and we're still able to do that throughout. It's I know it says up on the top, offer ends March 31st, but we have extended that. So the Grandeur Life, this is our Canada New England. We have a 30% savings on our Canada New England. That will actually expire on July 31st of 2024. And we can't wait to welcome your clients on board. So that is the end of my presentation. I think we may have some questions. I am ready.
Randall, first, thank you for sharing all of the new things that are coming along with Regent. I know that there are tons of questions coming in about all the new promotions and how to book, and are there certain resources that they can use. So we're just going to start at the top. And could you go back to the place where they can access any resources to show their clients, including videos or pictures, the different itineraries, what's included? I know that you spoke to a bunch of those different topics.
Oh yeah, here, 1 second here. I'll just keep scrolling back here. This one or the further one back? I think it was this one.
So, or if you want to just talk about just where they can go as a advisor, if they have a client that, you know, is more visual and wants to see what the ship looks like, what the dining area comes with, things like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, and then the suites as well. So it's www.rssc.com, and then you can, if you do the /TA Center, or if you go onto the site, on the top it will say Travel Agent Center. On the Travel Agent Center, there is the area where you'll be able to see all of the inclusions, the suites. It's under Sales Resources, and there are 9 different choices on that that you are able to see the inclusions. So in general, just so you know, the inclusions, we have our shore excursions, dining, your drinks, your in-suite dining, your pre-cruise hotel 1 night prior, butler service, the Wi-Fi, the valet laundry, the prepaid gratuities, your unlimited access to go to the spa, and then with our ultimate all-inclusive fare starting July 1st, we'll have the air and then the transfer credits as well.
Perfect. And for those agents who may be new to Regent, is there a place there where they can find who their BDM is, and are there any classes or I guess academies that Regent offers so that they can really become an expert about Regent's product?
Absolutely. So we do actually have it's our Regent University. It's found at the same TA Center. And what it will do, it's like you're going to school again. So there's an associate's degree, there's a bachelor's degree, and then goes up to a master's degree, and then a PhD. And that is at www.rssc.com/ and then just the word university. You'll be able to go to the university classes. Now, with the university classes, when you do pass, that will go to your BDM, your business manager will have that. You can also at any time give us a call, and we'll be able to tell you in our sales department. That number, I believe, it's been a while since I've called it. It's 866-420-3668. But yeah, you can find that on our website as well. And then there's also an area that just says my sales contact that you can put in your info, and then we'll see it, and we'll give you a call.
Perfect. And just to stay on that topic, it sounds like from all the questions here, a lot of our agents are really excited about trying to find the perfect client for Regent that they have in their books, I guess. And so, Randall, could you just give I guess, an overview of what you would say is the perfect Regent client, the
Absolutely.
keywords or activities or the type of lifestyle that, you hear somebody describing what they like and you're like, okay, Regent is perfect for you.
Yeah. So, um, so price wise, just so that they're in the pricing, you're looking at the folks that are doing your premium cruise lines, your celebrities, your things like that, and then the suite guest, even on the your NCLs, your carnivals, the people that are doing those higher suites, because that's where that pricing chart that we talked about, where we talked about that pricing chart where they were already paying that pricing without knowing that. Now, for the actual folks that we're seeing on board, it has been a shift in the last probably 6 to 7 years. Our clientele, our average age has went from probably mid or lower to mid 70s to now we're actually in that mid 60s range. We're seeing a younger and younger group of folks come on board with our wellness tours. We have actually, instead of just doing your random tours, we have had some more adventurous tours, which has brought in folks. You will get country club. You get folks that belong to a country club, belong to different associations. We always tell people, if someone's part of, a, a charity, if they are, integral in a charity, if they are the folks that will go to those charity things, they belong to, some sort of a golf club or a tennis club or uh, the paddleball clubs. Now we're getting a lot of those, which is great. But we're not looking at a lot of folks who you don't have to be the ultra wealthy. We do get the ultra wealthy on board. I'm not going to say we don't, but a lot of folks are just in that probably upper category, who are looking discerning travelers. We do not have a lot of kids, just to be honest with you. In Alaska, though, we will get up to 20 to 30 kids per sailing. And then also in the Caribbean, over spring break, and then the summertime, we may get like 10 kids. We do have kids programs, and we have designated counselors who spend the time with them. They're not babysitters, so they do, different projects. You cannot leave the ship if your kid's in that. You do have to stay on the ship. So if you're going to leave the ship, you need to bring your kid with you. They don't babysit at night, things like that, but they'll do different activities. But an active, probably someone in their mid 50s to 70, I would say, is really what our clientele looks like. We do not require formal dress. So our dress is going to be a pair of slacks and a button up for a gentleman, or even like a polo. Even like, the polos, like not the full button down shirt. Ties are not required at any restaurants. Jackets are not required either. For ladies, I always tell people, ladies know how to dress a little bit better than guys. You have to tell your guys how to dress, but the women usually, ladies will know, okay, I can match that general thing. It's just something you'd wear to a nice dinner. And that's all we're looking for. No jeans, no tennis shoes, no t-shirts. So
You're answering all the questions that they're asking, Randall. So really good job, and thank you for sharing all that information. I'm glad that you brought up the kids part, or the kids programs that you guys offer, and just staying on the type of clients that you accommodate. Could you just speak to the accessibility on board? Because I know that you did mention it was a smaller ship, but that doesn't take away from the amenities that you all provide, or the accommodation that you all provide.
yeah, absolutely. For accessibility, we do have at least 4 suites usually, and then on the newer ships we have 6 to 8 suites that are accessible. The accessibility is throughout the entire cabin. the nice thing is we still have the balcony. We still have, marble pointed, we just make it, it's a larger room, larger doorways, larger area next to the bed. You go into the bathroom obviously, you don't have the lips for the showers as much. We have ramps that are throughout. But we also think it's very important that we give the same exact experience. And within our restaurants, all of them have a ramp. Anywhere that there are stairs, there's a ramp within the restaurant, because a lot of our restaurants have stairs down into them. We have space between our tables. Because it is a smaller ship, we actually are able to accommodate sometimes a little bit better, because we have the space ratio, which is so important. And there's not a place. We went through just recently, actually, on a tour, and I had someone who was confined to a wheelchair. I had someone with a walker, and I had someone, cane, and it's just like, legitimately, I was like, we should film this and make sure that this is all gonna work, and they were able. The person in the wheelchair was able to get into our regular rooms as well and get around those. They didn't. Obviously, the accessible room was a lot more comfortable, but it just, we try to make sure that everything within our theater, within the casino, all the lounges, we have elevators. We have 2 sets of elevators. We have one in the front, one in the back, so they're able to access that. So I think that accessibility wise also will go to off the ship. I will tell you, in Europe, it can be a bigger problem, but we are very upfront and honest on the tours that we can and cannot do. With accessibility, it does come down to a third-party vendor. But if there's a possibility to have an accessible vehicle, we will have it anyway. So I think that there's a real focus on, even if we don't need it, we're gonna have it. We're gonna be able to have a lift. We're gonna be able to have ramps, things like that. So I think we really do try to focus to make sure that everyone's experience is going to be a positive one.
Thank you for sharing all that information about accessibility, Randall. I'm sure that that's going to help a lot of our agents with some of their clients who may have accessibility needs or requirements when they get on board. And speaking about
one quick thing, sorry to interrupt. If they do have a scooter, because there are folks that bring scooters, we do require those to stay in the hallway. It's just a safety thing within the room. I know it's not something that a lot of people think of, but it also is a question that comes up more than you would think it would. So that's why I like to bring it up.
No, perfect. I'm glad that you shared that piece of information. And I know that you used that really good graphic to show the size of a Regent Seven Seas cruise ship. Could you just talk about, for those clients who may be new to cruising, right, but they want the luxury and they want to try Regent, could you kind of walk us through how you would explain what it feels like to be on a smaller ship? Is motion sickness kind of a bigger worry on a smaller ship?
So with the larger ships, you're gonna have some lines. Let's just be honest. You're gonna have lines. With a smaller ship, what you find is you're able to get from the front to the back, the side to side. You're able to get through. I always use the pool chair example. It's not a problem to find a pool chair on a Regent cruise because of the number of people, and the spacing for the public areas is very similar. It doesn't look like it is because most of the large ships are going to be cabins, is usually what it is. But the amenities, when you measure, of course, our pool's not as large as that, but it's large compared to the size of the ship because we don't have to do as many of the cabins. We still will have 4 lounges on every single ship. There's 4 different places that you can go for evening entertainment. We'll have someone playing. You also, in the hallways, I mean, because there's not as many people in a small ship, but you also aren't gonna like not be able to, you don't have to take 30 minutes to be able to know that you're gonna go to the show. You can get anywhere on our ship in, 5 to 10 minutes at most, even if you're walking slow. So you're able to access whatever you're looking for in a very quick manner. And I will tell you that the biggest thing on that is when you come back from those excursions and you want to just go to your room, you're not walking for miles. You're walking just right upstairs and you're there. So the feel that your guest will get is going to be the things that they don't even think about, which, like I said, embarking, disembarking. Um, a lot of folks will just go into port on a day and they're not on an excursion. They just want to go shop. A lot of ports will have all the shopping right there, of course, and because the local economy wants to make as much as they can. But with ours, you're walking right off the ship versus waiting for a large group of folks to get off. Or when you go to get back on the ship, you find yourself almost by yourself with that. One thing that we have really started to concentrate on is making sure that we do still introduce people to each other, because it is such a positive, but it can be a negative when you don't get to know each other.
Thanks, Randall. And I think everything that you're saying it's super invaluable. And I think that you're going to see a lot more of our agents hopefully reaching out. And could you just give us your email one more time if they have
Yep.
any questions, or the email that you want them to reach out?
That's fine.
Great.
Hey, so this is my email, but I'll be honest with you, there is a better email with that. It's actually a larger box, and there's 5 different people that manage that box. It's our internal account team. It's RSSC Sales Assoc. So RSSC SALES ASSOC at rssc.com. Obviously, you can come to me. I'll be very upfront and honest with you. I'm about to go on vacation, so you may not get a great response right away. But that RSSC Sales Assoc at rssc.com is always monitored. Like I said, there's 5 different people that monitor that box. They work directly with your BDMs. They are the folks who work directly with them. So they're a great place to go if you say, let's just say I live in Connecticut. They'll be able to say, okay, your person would be this person, and get you in touch and get you information on them.
Perfect. Thanks for sharing that. And we do have a couple more minutes here just for a few more questions. When you were going over the what's included, and you talked about the pre and post cruise stays, we had a few questions pop up there just regarding the different hotels that might be included or to choose from for their clients, or is that something that is handled by you all and there's a specific hotel that they need to go to?
So it is going to be a specific hotel. Now, these hotels will be 4 to 5 star hotels. You're probably looking more 4 stars. Other than Alaska, in Alaska, it's very tough. There's just not as many of those properties. But yeah, we actually do choose for the included night. We will choose that. We will also offer additional nights at that hotel, but it very rarely do we have more than one hotel that we can pick from. There are a couple ports that we do that. We will use multiple hotels in ports sometimes. So it's very important when you're booking. This is a insider, something that I always tell folks is make sure that your reservation agent does connect any of your bookings together, as we want to make sure that those are, that they end up at the same hotel. So I'll use Alaska as an example. There is a Hilton hotel in Alaska that we use. We also use a Sheraton hotel in Alaska. Well, I don't want grandma and this person to be over at the Sheraton. The rest of us are at the Hilton. We can always try to switch it out at some point, but it's just easier if you make sure that they do include them together.
Yeah, great tip, great tip. And I think this would be a good time, Randall. If you want to just use the last couple minutes here just to leave our attendees with a lasting tip or something that you'd like them to remember when talking to
Yeah,
their next client, the time is yours.
for sure. So I think like everyone does these presentations, they look at pretty pictures, they do that. And I always try to tell people that you have a client that you may not think, would really fit, but yeah, I think you'll find yourself once you present it to them, the message does translate to folks. And I think that the biggest obstacle is just making that first luxury cruise presentation. And believe it or not, you're going to do the same work to sell a luxury cruise as you are to sell maybe one of the mass market ones. You may do a little less work because we do have all the inclusions and there's not as many things that you have to worry about or different parts. The cruise is just inclusive. You also guessed, and we kind of talked about this before when I talked about cruising, a big portion of folks that we are seeing now are the folks that were doing a hotel night stay, and they were doing luxury hotels. The hotel prices have just skyrocketed, especially overseas in Europe. And we're finding a lot of folks are seeing that they can come, the concierge that they're, still trying to get these tours is on board our ship. And they're starting to see, you know what, cruising may be a way that I can actually benefit from that. I still want to go to multiple places. You only have to unpack once, you pack once, and don't sell out of your own pocketbook. That is something that I always tell people is, you have a guest who, especially on special occasions, sometimes they don't want to worry about all these little intricacies. And I think that we provide a product that we can make it as easy as we can on you. And once someone comes on board our ships, you're going to have someone that is going to do luxury cruising forever. I'm saying that exactly like I want to say it because maybe it's not always with us, but guess what? Once you're introduced to luxury cruising, it's hard to go back. And once they're with a luxury cruise line, it's great to have that reciprocal business where they want to come back. So I really appreciate your guys' time. I really appreciate you taking the time to go over some of this training. But always just like talk to your client about what they're looking for more than talk to your client about what cruise line they're looking for. Just ask them what they're looking to do, and hopefully you can see that Regent will be a great match. And I think it will be for a lot of folks. So you guys are taking the time, and you guys are our lifeblood. We really appreciate you. We appreciate the time. And go out there and sell. Why not? Go make some money.
Randall, that's always a good tip to end with. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your day on behalf of CLIA and all of our attendees here today. We really do appreciate you sharing all this information with us so that we can be experts at selling Regent and just beneficial to both of us on both sides of the relationship. And I just want to thank you again. Enjoy your vacation, and I hope to see everybody on our next webinar.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much.
Have a great day.